Hi, I'm Erin Guzman. This is video assignment number 2, Skeletal Anatomy, and this is my list of terms to know. The axial skeleton consists of the skull, the vertebral column, ribs, and the sternum. The appendicular skeleton consists of the forelimb, which is the scapula, humerus, radius, ulna, carpals or carpal bones, the metacarpals, which are numbered 1 through 5, medial to lateral. So this would be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And then we have the phalanges. This is the proximal or first, the middle or second, and this would be the distal or third phalanx. And then we move back to the hind limb. And this back here consists of the pelvic girdle, which is the ilium, the ischium, and the pubic bone. And then we have the femur, the patella, the tibia, fibula. This is the talus, and this is the calcaneus. This is the olecranon. And then the metatarsals and the phalanges. The vertebral column or the vertebral arch consists of 7 cervical, 13 thoracic, 7 lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal vertebrae. The first 2 cervical vertebrae are the atlas and the axis. These are the wings of the atlas. This would be the body of the vertebrae. Here on the thoracic vertebrae, we have these spinous processes, also down here. Then here on the side is the transverse processes. Here within the vertebral column lies the vertebral foramen. It is formed by the vertebral arch and the body of the vertebrae, and it contains the spinal cord. And then here we have the intervertebral foramen, and they allow access for the spinal nerves. So here on the sternum we have the hyoid apparatus. This is the manubrium, the body, and down here would be the xiphoid or the xiphoid process of the sternum. So here we have a scapula. This is the spine of the scapula, the supraspinous fossa, the infraspinous fossa. This is the glenoid cavity, and this is the coracoid process. Okay. Here we have a humerus bone. This is the head and the body. This would be the greater tubercle and the lesser tubercle. And this down here is the supracondylar foramen, which would be found in a cat. And this is the deltoid tuberosity. And here we have an ulna bone. This is the trochlear notch. This is the aconial process. And this is the olecranon fossa. This is the pelvic girdle. This is the crest and the wing of the ilium. This is the acetabulum. This would be the pubic symphysis. These are the obturator foramen. And this is the ischial tuberosity. So here I have a femur. This is the head and the neck of the femur bone. And this is the greater and lesser tuberosity. And this down here is the fibula. Oh, I think I may have misspoken. This is the greater and lesser trochanter. So here I have a tibia and a fibula bone. Tibia and fibula. This is the head of the fibula. And this is the medial malleolus and the lateral malleolus. Here I'll be identifying some cranial bones. These are the frontal bones, the parietal, temporal, occipital, and the sphenoid. These are the tympanic bulla. This is the palatine and the hard palate. This is the foramen magnum. This is the occipital condyle and the mastoid process. And this here is the external acoustic meatus. These are the nasal bones and the turbinates. This is the incisive bone and the maxilla. This is the infraorbital foramen. And this is the zygomatic arch, the temporal process, and the zygomatic process is right here. Here I have the mandible. This is the ramus and the body of the mandible. This is the articular process, the coronoid process, and this down here is the angular process, and that's found only in carnivores. This is the symphysis of the mandible. And this right here, this little hole, is the mental foramen.